Hey guys, it's DestinyLashae. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my experience using Fenty Beauty products. So the first thing that I picked up is the Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. This retails for $32. So this primer claims to help stop shine. It's supposed to be pore diffusing, and it's supposed to make your foundation go on smoother just like any other primer. It's supposed to add longer wear for your foundation or the makeup that you put on top. On me, I used it on one side of my face. I don't have a clip of that though, and it was just like any other regular primer. Did feel very hydrating yet matte at the same time, which is very weird. It is a very unique primer, but for me, I have more dry skin nowadays, which is really odd because at one point my skin was really oily. So like in my T-zone I still get pretty oily, but everywhere else I'm pretty like normal to dry sometimes. So I can't really use a matte primer. I never did. I always gravitate towards hydrating, like moisturizing, more like moisturizers as primers or moisturizing primers. So I had a feeling that this primer would be something that I didn't really need to add to my makeup collection. I do have my staple primers, so I didn't think I really needed it in the first place. I just really wanted to test it out and see what the hype was about. But the primer is nice. It does feel lightweight on the skin, and it does give you like a soft matte effect, if that makes sense. So I mean, is this something that you need in your makeup collection? I would say if you want to purchase the foundation, I would get the matching primer. But is it a necessity? Not really. So the next two products that I picked up were the foundations. I was super excited about the foundations just because of the shade range. It's insane. Insane in a good way. There's 40 shades. It goes from a very, very, very pale light white to a deep, deep melanin enriched deep dark shade. Let's just talk about the shade ranges in this foundation line for one quick minute. So Rihanna, listen, you surprised us. You surprised me, because when people were telling me you were coming out with a makeup line, I didn't know you were gonna do all of this. Like, I thought it was gonna be a lipstick or whatnot, like, you know, something fairly simple like an eyeshadow palette. Girl, you surprised us with this whole collection, and you did a great job. Even though some of the products I would not add to my collection, the collection in itself is amazing. So okay, back off my tangent. So from the collection of foundations, I got the colors 420 and 430. I would say 430 is something that I would gravitate towards more than 420. 420 is a lot more neutral. 430 has a lot more red undertones. It's not more so deeper, but it has more of those deeper red undertones, which I like in a foundation because it looks better in pictures on me and I don't get a gray cast. Another thing that I suggest is going into the store. You need to get shade matched because online the pictures are not accurate to what they look like in person or to what they look like on your face. So the foundation claims are that it should instantly smooth your skin, it should make your pores less visible, it should have a shine-free finish, and it should be easily buildable to medium to full coverage, long wearing, it's light as air, it's undetectable on the skin. So I wore the foundation for one day and I took it back to the store. Personally, it was not for me, and I'm gonna tell you why. So the pros of the foundation for me is that they do have 40 shades. The shade range is crazy. Oily girls, this will suck the oil out of your skin. Like, this foundation is so matte that it was way too matte for me. I don't gravitate towards matte foundations at all. The foundation was just clinging to my dry patches, and it made my texture on my face look even more emphasized, which I am not here for because it is so matte. So if you do have texture on your skin, or you do have acne or eczema, I would stay away from this foundation, honestly, just because it does emphasize your texture. Even with the primer, it just is so matte that it emphasizes your texture, and on me it just did not sit well on my skin. And I feel like if I mixed it with an oil, the way it sat on my skin, it just still wouldn't work for me. I've seen a lot of people wear the foundation. Do not get me wrong, it looks gorgeous on them, and a lot of people are used to wearing matte foundations. For a long time I have only used the Lancome Tint Idole Ultra foundation. It has such a beautiful smoothing effect, and that's why I really like the foundation. So I'm a little bit biased because I have tried a lot of other foundations and they looked like the Rihanna one, and I just did not like them because they were so matte. This foundation is very matte, but it's not flat looking. You still look like yourself. It does look like skin, but it's just very dry. The foundation is pretty lightweight. I didn't really feel anything on my face, so that's a good thing. It was not heavy. This foundation, the Fenty one, did not feel like that at all. It was very lightweight. Okay, so let's talk about the matchsticks. I got the color Expresso, which is the deepest contour shade, and I got a blush stick as well as a like highlighting shimmer stick. So the product that I returned out of that is the blush stick, and I will tell you why in a few. The contour stick, as you see me applying here when I first tried out the foundation and the primer and all that jazz, at first I did not really like how it applied because it was a little bit too dry for me. I recently figured out how to apply it. I have it on today, and it looks a lot different than it did in that video, just because I was trying to just play with the products and see if I liked them or not. So Expresso is a little bit too deep in my opinion for me. I wish they created a shade in between I think it's Truffle and Expresso. Truffle was a little bit too gray and light for my skin tone, and Expresso is just a little bit too deep for me. So I wish they made a shade in between that. The blush stick that I got had a little bit too much shimmer in it for me on my skin, and it kind of disappeared on my skin when I put it on. As you can see, I applied it to my cheeks and then I tried to blend it in, and then it kind of just disappeared on my skin. I don't know what happened. I just don't know. Now this highlight stick is called Rum. This thing is bomb. I applied it to my nose, my upper lip, my chin, and on the high points of my cheekbones. This highlighter is so gorgeous. It's so easy to apply. I found out with the matchsticks, I don't like to apply them directly to my face. I just take a brush and brush off some of the product, like off of the stick, and then apply it to my face. I feel like it applies a lot better and a lot more flawless. Okay, so let's just talk about the highlight that everybody is talking about nowadays. In their description, it says Trophy Wife is unlike your everyday highlighter, which it is. It's loaded with super fine shimmer for an ultra smooth, creamy texture. My opinion is that this highlighter is very beautiful and it does apply super easily, sometimes too easily to where you get too much highlight, you know what I mean? But this is unlike your everyday highlighter because it's not your everyday highlighter. It's very glittery in my opinion. It's not heavy, chunky glitter flakes though. It is very smooth to the touch. You can't feel the glitter grains, and sometimes it can just be a little too much for me. It's definitely not hard to apply, but do not buy this if you do not like glitter or you don't like an odd color highlighter, because it does have a little undertone of green in it. I would not purchase this if you don't like odd colored highlighters, because this is a very unique yellowy green color. So at the end of the day, I feel like this highlighter is more of a collector's item for me because I don't have anything like this highlighter in my collection. So I wanted to add it to my collection. And I feel like this highlighter would also be a very beautiful eyeshadow shade. I have not used it personally on me, but I've seen it on the girls in Sephora and it looks gorgeous. So if you don't want to buy it for a highlight shade, you probably would really like it for an eyeshadow shade. Alright, so the last thing out of the collection that I purchased is the Gloss Bomb. This has to be one of my favorite products that I purchased from the line because it is so pretty and beautiful on the lips. Now, is this gloss worth the money? I don't know. Would I buy it again? Yes, I would. This is something that I've been wearing every day since I bought it, just because this gloss is so pretty. It's not too sticky. It makes your lips look nice and full and plump and luscious. But I really do like this gloss. Another pro about this lip gloss is that the applicator is fat, so if you do have plumper lips like me, it covers your lips in one swipe without an issue, and I really do like this gloss. I would definitely purchase it again. It is very pricey. I know you can go to like Ulta and get like NYX glosses for really cheap, but I feel like this gloss is something that I would purchase again because I really do like it. So now I'm going to show you guys how I did my makeup today. My foundation's already on. I used the Lancome foundation, and I'm going to apply my Nars concealer underneath my eyes and in the center of my face. So I did my nose, Cupid's bow, and on my chin. And then I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and blend that all out. I literally do the same thing in almost every tutorial, but I wanted to show you guys how I at least did like my highlighting and contouring with the Fenty beauty products. So I'm just blending that out. My Nars concealer is like one of my holy grail products, almost just like my Lancome foundation, so I always use that underneath my eyes and in the center of my face just to highlight. And I just blend that out with my sponge, per usual, you know. You just want to make sure that everything is blended out pretty evenly. So now I'm going to set that concealer in place with my setting powder. I will have everything listed in the description box for you guys, but I'm just setting my under eye area as well as everywhere that I put that concealer so that everything is set in place. Now we're going to use the matchsticks. I'm going to use the color Expresso to contour today, and that's how much is in the tube. And I'm just going to take one of my MAC angled brushes and kind of swipe it onto the product and then contour my face with that. I like applying it this way because it looks a little bit more I don't know how to explain it. It just looks better when I do it this way versus applying it directly on my face. I get to control the products a little bit more, and it doesn't really sweep away my foundation at all. So I like applying it with a brush, and I just put that in the hollows of my cheek, blending it back and forth. I don't like to bring my contour too far down. But now I'm going in with my another holy grail product, my Bobbi brown bronzer, and I'm going on top of that contour with this because the contour for me is a little too deep to wear on its own. So I add my bronzer to it just to give me a little bit more bronziness, if that makes sense. And I bring it up onto my temples as well just to blend everything out and make everything look a little bit more even, and just bronzing up my face. And I'm just going to pinch the brush and put a little bit of that bronzer on the sides of my nose and bringing it up into like my eyelid area and actually getting my jawline as well. Next, I'm going to brighten up the under eye area a little bit. I'm going to take my MAC MSF, and this is in medium, I believe, and I'm just going to pat that underneath my eyes just to make it look a little bit more smooth and brighter underneath that area. I don't like leaving the setting powder there alone by itself. I like to put MSF on top because it looks a lot more smooth. I'm going to take that MAC MSF and put it everywhere that I put concealer. Now we're going to go into the Rum Matchstick. This is a beautiful highlighting cream stick, and I'm going to place my brush on the stick, rubbing it, trying to get some of the product off. And I'm going to highlight my nose first and then bring it up to the bridge of my nose. This color is beautiful, beautiful. Like, this is my first time using it too. This color is so gorgeous. This is definitely a highlight that you can rock every day, and it looks like you're glowing from within. It does not sit on top of the skin at all. It is gorgeous. This may be one of my favorite products from the line because it looks very pretty on the skin. It doesn't emphasize anything on your face. It just kind of gives you that nice pretty glow. It's not subtle now, but it is very like noticeable, but it's not chunky glitter. It's nice and smooth, and it looks gorgeous on my skin tone. So I really do like this Rum highlighter stick for sure. And I'm just putting it on the high points of my cheekbones and a little bit on my chin and whatnot. But this highlighter stick is bomb. I even put it in the inner corners of my eyes because I was loving it. Now I'm going to apply the Gloss Bomb, and I'm just going to put that on my lips with nothing else on. I like wearing this by itself. This is a great everyday gloss. This gloss is bomb, just like the name. I really do like it. I like the little rosy tint that it gives your lips, and it makes your lips look really nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review / tutorial, and I will see you guys in the next video.